WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize. I was taking my time right there, Robin.
Well, you had to get things.
Important things I had to do.
Yeah.
Robin Stevens Pays is on the phone. She is a social marketing consultant and a science writer specializing in reaching and decoding teen brains, Robin. Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Whoa, okay. She works with teens on STEAM learning. That's science, technology, engineering, art, and design math, right? And she's got 2 books we're going to talk about. One's called Edge of Yesterday. It's book 1 of the Edge of Yesterday series for young adults. And Da Vinci's Way, which is the Edge of Yesterday series, book 2 for young adults. I'll get through this, Robin, and Robin. 2 Robins. I got 2 Robins to talk to.
There you go.
Good morning, good morning, Robin Pays. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. I'm great. And Robin, thank you. And I'm so happy. Robin told me that you guys kind of came through Hurricane Michael without too much damage, which I'm so relieved to hear.
We dodged a bullet, yeah, but now the community is coming together for the community that was hit because they have had their lives turned upside down right now. So, yeah.
Terrible.
So tell me about your work with writing for youth. It sounds like you've got a mission. It's not just about storytelling.
That's true. Well, it centers on storytelling, and I really call sort of the meta project that I'm working on learning through story. And so the idea is, while I write fiction and science fiction for teens in general, and I find adults like them too, it's really about how stories change our brains. You know, we're from ancient times, we've told each other stories, and that's how we transmit knowledge and traditions and rituals from generation to generation. And why can't stories do the same thing today? Why can't stories, books, websites, media in all its forms be used as I call it self-learning tool? Because stories are intrinsic to who we are. And if it's not me telling a story, it's you telling me my story, or a teenager.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Robin, I have something to tell you about that. Very thought there. I've heard so many people say, when I was in high school, when I was in college, I read and fill in the blank with a title. And then they'll say, and it changed my life. And, they never say, I read like a textbook on how to build a car. It's always a novel. It's always some kind of a story that somehow changed their lives. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, that's what I found too, and it's so true. I love history, as evidenced by the fact that I write time travel stories that delve into history, deep history sometimes even. And I studied history in high school and college, and it never really stuck with me. What stuck with me were the myths and the stories that grew out of the times we were studying, not the dates and the battles and all of that. And so I figured, if I'm not the only person who learns like this, there has to be some brain science behind it. And since I write a lot about neuroscience, that was one of my also deep dives was into the science behind story.
And I really enjoy the time travel aspect of the characters in the book, because when a person has a book, whether you're a teen or an adult, and you're by yourself reading this book, you get engrossed so much in the story that you feel a part of it.
Yeah, thanks. I really hope that's been a goal of mine, and I'm glad to hear you say that. It really warms my heart, Robin, to hear you say that. And since we share a name, I think we probably share other things in common too.
That's right.
All right, so I have a question to ask you, and I must tell you before I ask you this that Robin and I are both 64 years old. Okay, just saying. Okay. And there's a reason for me telling you that. Every once in a while, we'll have guests that are very, very popular with younger people, and like pop culture guests. And the truth is, we don't really know who they are. You see, so we have like cheat sheets from the publicist, and inevitably these interviews we do will end up on YouTube, and they will have hundreds of thousands of hits, and they will have all kinds of people going, "Oh my gosh, I'm cringing listening to those hosts." So how do you? I know, because I mean, it's kind of like out of our league or something. But I mean, we're always cordial and everything. But like, we'll ask somebody if he's married, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he asked if he was married." So how do you write so that teens don't cringe when they read? You know what I mean? How do you stay hip with them, if that's okay to say?
Yeah, great question. So really, I have 3 kids myself. They're now in their 20s and 30s, and I'm closer to your age range. Truth admission here. But when my kids were sort of in those preteen eras, and I was driving the carpool to soccer practice, band practice, school, everywhere, I was the silent, invisible one in the front seat who got to hear what my kids and their friends were talking about to their friends in the back seat. And I made copious notes of their language and what they were talking about and what they cared about and who their friends were, or who, what teacher they were mad at because she was giving a test the same time as another teacher or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And so I went to the source, and in particular, my younger son was really good on the language, so I really used his vocabulary to tune in on it. And I have to also confess here that I have a little bit of a cheat. I go to Urban Dictionary a lot. I don't know if you've ever looked at that, but
we have, yeah.
It's pretty woolly and raw, and so I because I write for younger teens, I try to keep it clean, but it's a place where you can keep up with the language for sure.
And throughout your writing in the book, you are encouraging the readers of the book to say it's okay to have a dream, it's okay to pursue one type of a career and be curious about it. You give them the courage of being able to do that without trying to have somebody else tell them what direction they should go.
Yeah, really, I'm glad you picked up on that, Robin, because that's something that I have really worked hard to open that space for young people, and I do a lot of workshops there's an organization, Women in Technology, that runs Girls in Technology programs for teen young women that I'm a leader of, and when I lead these workshops, they're about creativity and writing, but also just, what do you care about? What do you love? What would you do if somebody weren't telling you you have to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse, whatever it is that you're hearing messages, or Beyonce or whatever it is that you get the messages from either your parents or your teachers or popular culture, because kids are not without this media bombardment constantly through their phones and TV and everywhere else. And so we really have to give them some space to try out different things, because if you're not doing it when you're 12, you're never going to get to do it. So that's what I really hope I can kind of give them the opportunity and the space to breathe into.
Yeah, and I think with the stories, the way you've written them will reach somebody younger and open up. If nothing else, it'll get them reading, because everybody says that reading is the best way to learn, and even if you're reading something fun. So to be fair to the books, let's talk about Charlie Morton a little bit. She goes back in time.
She finds Leonardo da Vinci's plans for a time machine when she goes to visit. She lives in Maryland near Washington, D.C., and when she goes to the Smithsonian to see an exhibition, and this really did happen several years back, of one of Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks on the flight of birds, she's inspired and says, "Oh my gosh, I've seen it. He has the secrets to a time machine, but he didn't have the technology or the science to build it." So she has both. And for the middle school science fair, she decides she's going to build Leonardo's time machine.
Wow.
But she has no idea when she builds this model with her best friend and, class geek Billy, that it might work. And so, whoops.
So, what I always wonder about traveling back in time? If the Earth is always moving, not just around in a circle, but like everywhere, it's like going through space. It's never in the same place ever. It's always someplace new. So if you went back in time, you'd be like floating in space. You wouldn't be in the right place.
well, it's a good point, and true enough, Larry. But she has a little help from this very mysterious guy named Kairos, and I don't know if you've ever heard this word before. In Greek, Kairos kind of means just in time, like Chronos means linear time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so Kairos has a formula that he downloads to her as she's working on this project, and he's kind of mysteriously hacked into her dad's computer at work during Take Your Child to Work Day, and it turns into a whole mysterious way that the globe spins backwards, and sort of weird things disappear, and then they show up again in a different place and time, and she's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Wow.
I don't want to give away too much, but that's...
I can remember being younger and so looking forward to the future, but I didn't realize I was going to get old in the process. It just... I just didn't know it was going to happen.
It's a hazard of the trade.
You're a joy to talk to. I so much enjoyed this conversation. All right, I have two of the books. I have Da Vinci's Way and Edge of Yesterday, right, Robin? I got both of them?
Yes, you do.
So if you call me, I'll leave them here for you. If you got a young reader in your family, they will love these books. The rest of us have to go buy them. I did find them on Amazon. Do you have a website you want to recommend?
I do. I have a website, edgeofyesterday.com, where you can find games and quizzes, interactive tools and techniques, and a place for learning, for telling your own stories, called Make the Story Yours, which I'm developing out into a teen publishing platform, because I think teen voices need a place to be heard and to be safe and to be really creative and communicate with other teens like them.
Yeah. All right, let me give this one away. These two away. Both books will go to whoever's on the phone. Who's this? Who's on the phone?
Hi, this is Gene. I got a kid I'd love to start reading.
All right, Gene, you got it. You got them. They're waiting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Robin, thank you for being on the air with us today. That was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And do some good reconstruction there. I'm pulling for you all.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your concern for the hurricane.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank
all
you.
Good things.
All right, we'll take a little break. Be right back.
Are you ready for some cool weather? Well, Bob Wines at Bob Wines Camellia Gardens in Ocala is ready with their first great sale of the fall, with unbeatable bargains all over their huge 5-acre store. There's a fabulous truckload sale on azaleas, more than you've ever seen in one place, with dwarf ever-blooming azaleas, red ruffles, still just $3.99. A long list of perennials, all your favorites, still with lots of blooms, are half price. Easy Care Drift and Knockout Roses are priced way down at $14.99. And listen to this, all palm trees in stock, 25% off. Bob Wines has fruit trees for half price, and same goes for citrus trees. Remaining stocks are marked down 50%. Go to BobWinesCameliaGardens.net and check this week's ad for all the specials. Bob Wines on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Open daily till 4, Saturdays till 2, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Problems with your AC? Don't lose your cool. Call One Stop Cooling and Heating today. You know, the ones with the bear. Make One Stop Cooling and Heating your one stop for help. And with rebates and off-season pricing, fall and